But what is going on in Fowler, as Gabriella Powell just described? What is going on there and in other seats in Western Sydney that we assumed were safe Labor? Are we missing something by thinking this election looked almost a lock for Labor? Joining me, as someone I've said before, is part of the Liberals' future, the Mayor of Liverpool, Ned Mannoun. Ned, great to catch up with you again. Fowler, what is going on there, do you think?
Well, I think what we're seeing is that Western Sydney is changing, and the Labor Party has changed. The Labor Party doesn't really represent what Western Sydney is about. You've got aspirational people who just want to get on and do their job and go have safe employment opportunities with a good economy, and they realize the Labor Party doesn't actually represent them. And I think what we're seeing is a massive change, a seismic change potentially. For us to even be here talking about it is amazing.
I think that's absolutely right. I see a gradual shift. I mean, it's not perfect, but from the Labor Party representing the workers, the Liberals, the top end of town, it's now almost exactly the opposite. Labor is the big money, the corporations, etc., you know, the feel-good social activist kind of stuff. And the Liberals increasingly, well, the coalition represents most of the poorer electorates in the country. Now, I've all but written off the Liberals' chances, but what are you picking up, not just in Fowler, but in other seats?
You know, I think if you have to look at the quiet Australians, the people who are out there, we're at pre-poll, they're taking a harder votes. I think a lot of people have made up their mind. They know what they want to do. And I think people are choosing, you know, potentially security. But all I can say is let's watch what happens on the day. People are very frustrated. When you look at somewhere like Fowler, where, you know, Labor has parachuted someone who lives 66 kilometres away, who needs a boat to actually get to Fowler, and then look at Parramatta, where they've pulled in a multi-millionaire who's living in his $15 million mansion, representing Parramatta. People are seeing this. You know, let's look at Sydney. Fowler does take in Liverpool CBD, and Parramatta takes in Parramatta, Sydney's second CBD. Major metropolitan centres that have an important role in Sydney's future. And the Labor Party, rather than going out there and choosing a local who knows the area and lives and breathes it, they go out there and they bring in the people from outside of the area. And rule number one about politics, all politics is local. And people are seeing through this. So I think it will be very interesting to see what happens over the next few days.
But it's exactly the sort of thing we're talking about. I mean, Andrew Charlton, lovely guy, but is that Parramatta candidate of Labor you're talking about? Multi-millionaire. Christina Keneally doing pretty well out there in Scotland Island, now trying to represent both of them, working class electorates. How does that work? I don't quite get it. Just finally, Ned, now we've talked about this before off TV. To me, I'm bothered by the fact that many Liberals don't seem to stand for something. I mean, not passionately, not like something they've lived through, that they feel in their bones. And I was thinking, why doesn't the party recruit more candidates from, say, the Vietnamese and Chinese communities, or now the Ukrainian community, who know in their family and you know, the history of their former country that freedom does matter, and freedom, of course, is a core Liberal value. Why don't they do that?
Well, I actually think we are, Andrew, and you know, there's a lot of candidates that are out there in the moment. You've got Maria out in Parramatta. You've got Sam KL, the son of migrants, you know, come from a war-torn background in Lebanon, and here's a guy who started with nothing. It's a typical migrant story. They came here with a suitcase. He worked hard, his parents worked hard, he's an accountant, and every single day he's striving to make his family's life better, but also give back to the country that's given him so much. And you just come down to pre-poll and hear him talk. He's on his feet 12 hours a day, sharing that story of the aspiration and wanting to do something for this country. So I think we actually have a lot of great and amazing candidates out there. We just don't get the airtime. This is the future of Sydney, on Western Sydney. I call it the new Australia. We're building the new airport out there. You've got in Liverpool Hospital, you've got the world's or the Southern Hemisphere's largest medical and health precinct doing world-leading research right here. So I think people need to pay attention. The problem I think we have in Sydney is a lot of the power is centred up in the east and the north, and we're the migrants out west. And I think if I can share a quick little story with you is I remember reading in the telly during lockdown that there was a building in the eastern suburbs and they didn't know how to take out the trash because the person who takes out the trash lived out in Fairfield, Liverpool area. There's a big disconnect of what's going on. And have a look at the airport. Look what the government is doing. It's amazing. Mate, yeah, I was lucky enough to get elected again after being away from politics for 5 years. That was only 140 odd days ago. Frank Carboni and Dai Li had Frank had 75% of the vote at the council election. 75%. People are seeing what's going on.
That's impressive.
They're willing to reward hard work because
Dai Li was his running mate.
Yeah, and his running mate
Dai Li was his running mate, so she's in with a chance. Ned Mannoun, you've invited me to come and see your part of the world. To my shame, I've only been in Liverpool once. I will take you up on that because I do think I need to see what you say is the new sort of, the new Australia. I need to go and see it. Thank you so much indeed for your time.